Yep. Still share my screen. All right. Whew. One 1 minute. All right. Time's up. Hello, everyone. Right now it's 4 p.m. and I think it's time to start our CPD training. So first thing first, I really appreciate it for you guys join this webinar training. And this is SA accredited, SA recognized CPD training. So basically the CPD number is 276, and we got 15 points for all the gentlemen and ladies who attend this one. And that's one thing. Secondly, after this meeting, probably later, today's Monday, later this week, I will email you all the CPD certificate for that one. All right, today we will mainly introduce, first of all, is coming battery rebate, either nationwide, New South Wales one, BESS 2, and Western Australia, Synergy and Switching, Synergy and Switch Horizon Power for the rebates, which will become available tomorrow. And secondly, I'd like to introduce some of the very exciting products we already launched and their selling points and their key features. Thirdly, we have very experienced service engineer Brian. He will do a real will showcase a real installation for our SPH-HUB all-in-one inverter. All right, first thing first, let's get started. It's a battery rebate. So obviously, the most popular ones and the most exciting one we have is cheaper home battery program. This one we've been waiting for it for, I don't know, for at least 2 or 3 years. Before we have like a new South Australia battery rebate, we have Victoria battery rebate. At this time, we eventually got this nationwide battery rebate. First thing first, and you have to make sure first of all, if the products you are going to install and it's okay to apply for this battery STC. Secondly, how much money will be saved for your client? And third one, the most important one is the safety, because now the CER and also other regulators will ensure the safety for this battery rebate program. Okay, first thing first, the type of the batteries. First of all, the battery system that is nominal with its nominal capacity start from 5 kilowatt hour to 100 kilowatt hour. This is nominal capacity. Only the first 50 kilowatt hour of usable capacity can apply this battery STC rebate. Secondly, each house can only apply once. So when you're talking to your client, always make sure that they only had one chance, one opportunity to apply this battery STC. Unlike the PV system. PV system is totally a house can apply maximum 100 kilowatt of the totally, but for these batteries, they can only apply once. And secondly, there must a PV system on site. That means I know there's like many of the products, AC coupled products. There's a purely AC coupled, no need for PV. But in this one, if you want to apply this battery rebate, you must have a PV system. Doesn't matter if it's existing or newly installed, but you must have the PV system. That means you must have solar panels. And also, this is another key feature is you can apply this one for on and off grid, both of them. Not just before is most of the rebate is only for on grid, but this time on and off grid, both of them. Safety, another one is the safety. First of all the batteries you're going to install must be CEC approved, listed in the CEC approved battery list. All you have to do is Google CEC approved battery. It will give you an input the manufacturer's name. It will give you all the details for these batteries. One thing is very important. The depth of the discharge, that means the usable capacity. Whenever you apply for this battery rebate, you apply it with a nominal capacity, but whenever you try to work out the STC, how much you can climb is based on usable capacity. I'll take Growatt for example. Most of our battery products has a depth of discharge of the 90%. I know it's not perfect. We are going to update. We'll have our second generation battery very soon. That one will have the 100% depth of discharge. But when you do the calculation of STC, it is always based on the calculation of the usable capacity. To make this kind of calculation simple, you can remember this formula. At this very first year, from 2025 to 2026, each of the 1 kilowatt hour of the usable capacity, you can apply maximum 372 Australian dollars per usable kilowatt hour. And this is roughly like a 30% of the discount of the cost of the batteries. And secondly, there has to be the signed statement from the installer and also the retailing companies, and you have to provide it to the owner. There's like something like an SDS safety data sheet statement. Each of the battery must have that, and also it has to be CEC approved. And thirdly, for some of the states like Western Australia for the Synergist battery rebate, you also, if you want an actual Synergist battery rebate, you also need your inverter and battery to be approved in their solution product list. So I will talk about that one little later. From tomorrow, all you have to do is before your table, your CR portal is like just the inverters and the solar panels. From tomorrow, 1st of July, you have the options like the batteries and also the battery serial number and also the OEM's details. Based on this, all this kind of information is actually connected to a CEC approved battery table. So obviously, each time you choose a battery, it will automatically work out what is the usable capacity of that batteries. And also for New South Wales BESS 2, from tomorrow, I mean, New South Wales, they will suspend the New South Wales battery rebate, and there's something called a ACP, the battery rebate, but they give you can also add up with the BESS 2. That means VPP rebate for New South Wales. This one can be added up with the cheaper home batteries. This is an official page from the New South Wales government website. So obviously, from tomorrow, you can not only apply cheaper home batteries in New South Wales, but also you can apply for the BESS 2. For Growatt products, our products already been BESS 2 approved because we have VPP provider called provider called Averaging. So it's totally qualified to apply for BESS 2 in New South Wales. Another one is Western Australia. Western Australia also has a big battery rebate, and before it used to be bigger, but right now because of the national cheaper home battery rebate, the state government had changed it to a little bit less, but it's still acceptable. This kind of rebates can be added up. You can apply 2 rebates, both of them, with either cheaper home batteries or the Synergist battery rebate, and that one is around each of the 1 kilowatt hour, you can apply around 130 Australian dollars. Maximum, you can apply 10 kilowatt hour. That means 1,300 Australian dollars. That's for the Synergist rebate. And for Horizon Power, the money is more. It's 380 per kilowatt hour. Maximum, you can apply for 3,800 Australian dollars for 10 kilowatt hour. But this one needs, because now Synergy need the first, the battery or the inverters has to be tested with Synergy VPP. Right now, our inverters, Growatt products, our hybrid inverter or battery inverter, already been tested with the CSIP, Synergy's emergency backstop, the flexible export limit. We are going to get the VPP test later this month. But from tomorrow, you can apply for the Synergy's battery rebate with Growatt products uh, with VPP synergies repeat. But for horizon power, this one requires. We will talk about the questions a little bit later after my presentation is done. I know you gentlemen and ladies definitely got plenty of the questions. We'll talk about that a little bit later. For horizon power, you must be finish the integration with switching. Right now, we are working on that one. Hopefully, you can get it done by this week or next. And yeah, so that people can, the end users from Western Australia can apply this kind of a battery rebate. All right, and also in Western Australia, you can apply for the interest-free loan. This one is some of the interest-free is not actually interest-free. It has an administration fee or monthly fee, but this one does not. This is what it looks like from Western Australia website. The guaranteed there's a zero interest loan, okay, which is suitable for most of the end users. All right, for Western Australia, there's another thing you should know is, it can apply for both. This VPP can apply for not only just Western Australia, but also the nationwide, both of them. But installer must be SA accredited. Installer must be get a SA accreditation. Second, for the retailers, you must get the NETCC approved. All the retailers must be NETCC approved so that you can sell system to get this kind of rebate in Western Australia. For VPP, yes, I know there's plenty of questions for VPP. What are our biggest partner for VPP is Evergen, and most of our energy storage products already been tested with them and works fine with them. And also another one is Energy Australia, what we call their project called Battery Ace. This is the two major VPPs we have right now. We're getting more. Right now, we're still testing with more other VPP platforms, and we will release it once it's approved. So right now it's super big. But I think the most important right now is the Synergy, Western Australia government VPP we're working on. All right, right now it comes to the product part. For the on-grid inverter, this would be the only on-grid inverter we have since this August. Now, from this August, this will be the only on-grid inverter we have. Besides this one, all the others are hybrid inverter or battery-ready inverter. Can work with battery inverter, work with battery directly. This is the only one of our on-grid product. What do we call it? 70 to 10 kilowatt single phase 70 to 10 kilowatt, larger single phase on-grid inverter. You got 3 MPPTs, 3 string of input. The input current used to be like 30 amperes. This one is actually 16. And that means it can work with most of the panels. I think 99% of the panels, even the larger commercial one, you can use this inverter, no problem. And another big selling point for this one, it can work with either CT. CT is much cheaper and easy for install, and smart meter. So if you wanted to pass the dynamic export limited in Victoria, South Australia, and also Western Australia very soon, you will need to install either smart meter or CT. But if you just for the emergency backstop or flexible export limit, you can always use the CT. But if the client want to see the 24 hours load consumption, you must have the smart meter. Okay, that's the biggest difference. And this one is we used to have another version, min 7 to 10 kilowatt TRX. That one's an older generation. That one's also got a 3 MPPTs, 4 strings input. But this one is a difference. This one got 3 strings, 3 MPPT, 3 strings of input. That means allow the installer can install the 3 direction of the panels on the roof. All right. As I mentioned, the last one is our on-grid products. This one is this is our hybrid system or battery-ready system. On the left side is inverters work with low voltage batteries, ALP low voltage batteries, what we call SPH-HUB, the all-in-one. And the SPH-HU is you can consider that is the all-in-one inverters which does not have the wear box. I will introduce that a little bit later. And also for single phase, larger single phase, SPM 8 to 10K. This one are already applied as a CEC application, but I have it's under review by CEC. It's not finished yet. So the SPM 8 to 10K is not ready for Australia yet. On the right side is our battery ready inverter. So for the battery ready inverters, we have for single phase, we have like a min 2.5 to 6 TRXH inverter, which is compatible with APX S0 batteries. And for three phase, we have MOD 3 to 10 kilowatt TRXH. This inverters is three phase one. It got 2 MPPT 2-string inverter. It is compatible with APX, either APX S1 or APX S2. But based on my understanding, we do not manufacture any APX S1 anymore. So right now, most of the APX high voltage batteries, APX either single phase APX S0, the single phase one, or the APX S2, the three phase one. And another inverter we just CC approved is a mid 10 to 13 kilowatt TR3XH. This is smaller. This is like a small commercial size of the inverter. It starts from 9.99. It's it's no need to install GSD in Queensland, and with 30 kilowatt. This one got 3 MPPTs. Each MPPT got 2 strings input, which give you like 6 strings of input for 30 kilowatt. Definitely large enough for the DC resizing and for the installation as well. Sorry, I will introduce the details one by one. We will talk about we have a QA time, but no, I will do the introduction first. Okay, sorry about that. So obviously for the SPH-HUB, this one is CC approved, and the CS-IP-AOS approved in Victoria, in South Australia, and also in Synergy, in Western Australia, Synergy. This one is already approved. You can install this one for different state requirement, no problem. So this one is updated with our SPH-UP, the old version of SPH. The first one we updated is the maximum backup power is 5 kilowatt. Used to be 4, right now it's 5. And it's compatible with ARP batteries. ARP batteries, each of the ARP batteries is 5 kilowatt hour. Minimum, we can only put 1, maximum, you can put 8 of them together, give you like 40 kilowatt hour of the battery usable capacity. And also it got EPS inbuilt. That means if something goes wrong, it will automatically transfer to backup mode and support your family load. But there's something I want to emphasize as is for ATS, EPS inbuilt or ATS inbuilt inverter. The key features, what if the inverter is faulty? Inverter is broken. What's gonna happen? Because now normally for the inbuilt ATS inverters, if the inverter is faulty, there will be no power supply for the EPS load. Even the grid is on, grid works, power grid works perfectly. If the inverter is faulty, there will be no power supply for emergency power EPS load. This will bring a very big chaos. To avoid this chaos, we got 2 solutions. We prepare two solutions, both software part and hardware part. If the inverter is faulty, our inverter will automatically bypass itself. When it realizes that it doesn't work, it's going to be faulty, it will bypass by itself automatically. If this one doesn't work, hypothetically, if the inverter is broken too quick, and we have another second contingency plan. So plan B. So obviously for this one, we also provide a Schneider AC coupled AC switch as the main switch. If something goes wrong, you can flip it up. And the user can just turn on or off of the Schneider manual switch, so that it can bypass from the battery, from the power supply, from the EPS load, from the inverter, or from the battery, and to the grid, so that it will significantly avoid such chaos if the inverter is faulty. It's done. It's finished. Another big selling point for this all-in-one, we have innovatively inbuilt the smart meter. I don't think any products in Australia get an inbuilt smart meter. This is the only product in Australia got inbuilt smart meter. Because now based on the when we talk with the local installers, especially, they said they spend some of the a lot of time on the smart meter setup. Based on this scenario, we have provided this inbuilt smart meter. All the installer to do is just we have the CT from the inbuilt smart meter. All I have to do is connect the CT at the main switch. That's it. No need to install inbuilt smart meter anymore. But with one condition, because right now the CT cable is only 10 meters long. Next month, we're going to update it to 20 meters. That means the installation location must be within, right now it's 10 meters, next month 20 meters of the main switch. So this is definitely something new. It will significantly reduce the installation time of the installer. Third one, this one can be parallel together. Yeah, we will talk about it. Sorry about this. Right now, we do not have time for QA right now. We'll have it later. Okay. Sorry about this one. Yep. So obviously, this all-in-ones can also be parallel together. If there's like a no export limit, you can maximum put 5 of them together, give you like a 25 single phase load capacity. And if there's an export limited, you can parallel 3 of them together. But only the on-grid side, not off-grid, okay? You cannot parallel the off-grid load together. Another biggest selling point for this one, we have inbuilt a very advanced function, what we call the one-click diagnosis. Because now what the installer want to do, they want to finish, especially the energy storage system, 1 day aside. So based on this one, we have 2 options for 2 major help for this case of scenario. First one, our service team can work from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So obviously, even after 5 p.m., you can still call our 1-800-476-9284 for technical support, no problem. And also, our service is 7 days a week. Secondly, we have inbuilt this one-click diagnosis into this inverter. So obviously, once the installation is done, you're not sure if you install correctly or not. All you have to do is click buttons on the screen of the inverter. There's like a self-checking, self-testing. Click this, what we call one-click diagnosis. When you activate this functionality, the inverter itself will get into a self-checking mode. If something goes wrong, it will tell you, like, for example, if the CT direction is wrong, it will tell you change the CT direction. And secondly, if the cables between different batteries doesn't work, it will also tell you the cable issue or something. So this one will significantly reduce the installer's installation time. One is inbuilt smart meter. Secondly is the one-click diagnosis. This is some selling points. So 2 MPPT, 2 3 nodes input, 600 volt DC. Before our inverter used to be 550 DC. I know it's some of the installers think it's really annoyed because now if it's a 550 DC voltage, DC input voltage, you can install like a 12 piece, maximum 12 pieces at a 1 MPPT. But right now we have widened it this one to 600 volt. That means you can install 13 pieces of panels at a 1 MPPT. Maximum you can put 26 pieces of panels for 2 MPPTs. So the input current used to be 30.5 ampere. Right now it's 60 ampere. And short circuited current used to be 20 ampere. This one 22 ampere. And also this one CSIP approved. That means it can be used Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia. All this kind of the states require export limited emergency backstop or dynamic export limited. This one, export limited load consumptions can use a smart meter. Of course, first of all, it got an inbuilt smart meter. But secondly, if the location is larger, the main installation location and the main switch is larger than 10 meters, we have to install external smart meter for this one. But it's, if you want to use it for AC coupled, all I have to do is install 2 smart meters. I will explain the diagrams details a little bit later. And also there's like the Schneider annual switch. The standard manual switch I mentioned before. This is what it looks like. It can be installed as a main switch to avoid, in case of the inverter is faulty or inverter is going down. All right, this is some people may ask, can I use this inverter to do AC coupled? The answer is yes. Because now there's another issue in Western Australia. Synergy, they only allowed right now, only allowed the hybrid inverters to pass the test of the the CSIP AOS and also the VPP test. That means right now there's no AC coupled solution in Synergy's approved solution list. So for this case of scenario, you can use a hybrid one. This one. For hybrid, single phase hybrid, all you have to do, you can install 2 smart meters. This smart meter one, CD smart meter SDM 122. This one is to monitor the existing solar system. And this one, this CD meter one can be, you can use a CD meter one. CD meter one, or you can use an inbuilt smart meter within SPH. That depends on the cable, the distance, the installation location, and the main switch. It's larger than 10 meters. We have to use an external one, external smart meter. If within 10 meters, you can use this built-in smart meter. So this built-in smart meter will monitor the whole side for the grid side. This is all the cabling. CT meter will also give you the CT directions to point out, obviously point out to the family load. Install 2 all-in-one at one side. This one can only, right now, this one can only happen in New South Wales because also in Victoria, in South Australia, they all require emergency backstop. We didn't pass the multiple emergency multiple inverters emergency backstops. We'll get it done soon, but we didn't pass it yet. So this kind of the parallel installation right now can only happen in New South Wales. All right, this is another one, the Min 2.5 to 6 TRXH. This is a replacement for our older version of the Min 2.5 to 6 TRX. From this August, we are no longer provided a Min TRX anymore. The Min TRX will expire in this August. We're not going to renew it, this one. That inverter will be replaced by this TRXH2. This one because now, as I said, most of our inverter will have the battery function. If it doesn't have the battery function, we will stop manufacturing it anymore. Not stop listed in Australia either. So this is definitely the smallest battery-ready inverter in the market, on the market. So this one only 10.8 kilograms, and it got 2 MPPT, 2 strings of input. MPPT current is 60 ampere, large enough for 99% of the panels. The short circuited current run is 24 ampere, definitely large enough for the panels. And also it can be used in South Australia, Victoria, and the Western Australia Synergy is great as well. This one has a 24 hours load consumption. That's fine. If it doesn't connect to the battery, it's fine. It can also provide the 24 hours load consumption with the smart meter. And also this one is compatible with APX S0 batteries. But the problem for this one is if the client want a backup function, you must install the old backup box for the Min TRXH, the old backup box for that one. Motor XH, this one is because of before, this one is not very popular because of the, unlike other states, Australia used to have the 600 volt domestic voltage limit. But from last year, 2024, the regulator has updated AS 5033 and also AS 4777.1 2024 have been updated. There's no 600 volt domestic voltage limitation anymore. Right now it's 1000 volt. For this one, you can see all this this is AS 4777.2. As you can see, there's 1000 volt and 5. That one is the one up. This one is 5033. So this one also mentioned that there's no also mentioned that there's no 600 volt anymore. That means you can install each of the inverter got 2 MPPT. Each MPPT runner can install 25 pieces of panels. So 2 MPPTs, you can install like a 50 panels. Definitely large enough, even including for the DC 200% DC size. As the other as other battery ready inverter, as is the about previous battery ready inverter, this one will also need the backup box for the backup function. And also for AC surface AC coupled, you only difference is you must use a chain DTSU 6 CT meter. As you can tell, for three phase, you must have 6 CTs to make sure the three phase AC coupled. 3 CTs at the CT1, you can tell over here for the whole grid. L1, L2, and L3 is for this one, and also CT2, another CT is for L1, L2, and 3 for the existing three-phase on-grid inverter. So that we can make sure all these, with 6 CTs, we can make sure we can monitor all these 6 input, L1, L2, and L3. Make sure we get a correct data displays on our app. All right, for three-phase battery ready one, we have a larger one, commercial one, and this one is just approved, CC approved a month ago. This is made 10 to 30 kilowatt hour. Even the 10 kilowatt got 3 MPPT, 6 strings of the input. Each MPPT got 2 strings of input. That means this one is definitely got 3 directions of the panels, and each strings you can install a maximum 25 pieces of panels. And this one can work with APX S2 batteries. Our APX S2 batteries largest capacity is 30 kilowatt hour, but this one can work with 2 clusters of the APX S2 battery, which give you like a 60 kilowatt hour of the battery capacity. And also this inverter can be paralleled on 9 of them together with a little component, what we call a Master X. But remember, only the on-grid side can be parallel. Off-grid, no. Each of the inverter can only take their own off-grid load. That means each of the, you can take this picture, for example, each of the inverter can only handle 30 kilowatt of the load. And also for backup, you need an actual hardware backup. So this is a reference for you when you do the quotation or you do the design for a system. This is remember all these kind of inverters. Which one has the inbuilt smart meter? This is the only one has the inbuilt smart meter. Which one can work with smart meter? Which one can work with CT? Which one has the default setting of the 24-hour load consumptions? Which does not must have the batteries to work with to have the 24 hours load consumption. All right, this is some tables we help the installers to check and also help the designers to do the system designing and for quotation, like how many battery base you need, how many cables you need, all the inverters, which smart meter you're going to use, and what kind of backup if you need it. All this here. As you can tell, APX min XH2 works with APX S0 batteries. Mode XH work with APX S1 or S2. Mid XH can only work with APX S2. Okay. Our inverters can also work with our EV charger. We have AC EV charger, just AC, not DC. DC is not Australia approved yet. So obviously we have the AC EV chargers. For AC EV chargers, you can use actual smart meter. As you can in this diagram, you can tell. This smart meter is actually for the Mintier XH2, and this smart meter is actually for the EV charger. This one with two smart meters. One for the battery ready for the energy storage system, one for the EV charger. Then you can activate the PV linking mode. For PV linking mode, that means your electrical vehicle can be charged only by the PV. No the grid power, just by your PV. Now, save plenty of time. Save plenty of the money. All right, for our Growatt accessory. For 3-phase, we have the SDM 630 MCT 3CT smart meter. And for single phase, with the SDM 120 CT 1CT single phase smart meter. The reason why I keep using CT meter rather than direct smart meter is because before we used the direct smart meter, the main cable had gas throw of the smart meter, which caused a lot of installation troubles. So from I think 4 or 5 years ago, we all changed it into the city meters to save the installer's installation time. Climate city, no need for cable to get through the smart meter. That saves heaps of the time for installing. All right, and another very special smart meter we had changed DTS 0666. This one's only for three-phase AC coupled solution. Another one, Wi-Fi. We have this year, we have our major update is our Wi-Fi. We have updated our Wi-Fi. Before our Wi-Fi can only work with USB or Wi-Fi. This one can work with the USB, Wi-Fi, USB, and the Ethernet cable. Happy to say before, if the Wi-Fi is like 200 meters away, Wi-Fi is like 200, 100 or 200 meter away, you do not have any Wi-Fi signal at all. All you have to do, you use the Ethernet cable at the end of this Shine Wi-Fi X2 and one, and connect it to your Wi-Fi routers, the Ethernet port directly. No need to input a password either. So it's very easy plug and play. And secondly, all the states require for the emergency backstop or dynamic export limit or flexible export limit, you must use this Shine Wi-Fi X2 Wi-Fi dongle. This one will be provided right now in the box with the inverter from this year. The inverter manufacturer from this year. All right, and yeah, that's probably everything for my part. And right now I will let Brian take from here. Okay.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you.
I will promote you as host. Yep. All right, it's all yours. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in to our SPH-HUB series online training. My name is Brian. I'll walk you through the training series today. Before we start, if you guys happen to have any questions along the way, feel free to type it out on the chat box. There will be a Q&A session right after I finish this training session. So that is when you can raise your hand and ask us a few questions in regards to our products. Right, let's get started. So what is HUB? So basically, HUB is a combination of the inverter as well as the battery system, mainly SPH-HUB and the ALP batteries. So the nomenclature seems pretty complicated, but if you break it down word by word, there it's actually pretty simple. So SP stands for single phase. So when you see SP, it means that all the system is always going to be single phase. Now H here stands for hybrid. 3 to 6,000 means that this is the rating for the inverter. It ranges from 3,000 all the way to 6,000. This is a transformerless design, which stands for TL. So H here stands for hub again, for hybrid again, and then B here means that it's a box design. So at the top of the system, you have the inverter itself, and then in the middle one, right at the bottom of the inverter, is the connection box. So this connection box is where we hit all the connections that takes place between the inverter as well as the battery. It also includes the smart meter mentioned by Rex. So the smart meter will be hidden here on the right side here. It's already pre-installed by the time it arrives, so there's no need for installations. Now, the specifications of the inverter is here. So we do have a range of products ranging from 3,000, 3,600, 4,000, 4,600, 5,000, and 6,000, depending on the ratings required by the customers. One of our most common inverters is definitely the SPH 5000 TL hub. So at the bottom, we have the battery system. So this is the ALP battery system. On the side, you can see that there is an enclosure, and then at the bottom is the battery plate. So this battery plate must be installed if this battery system is installed on the ground. So the specifications of ALP. So how many batteries can we install all together as a bundle? The maximum is 8, and it's going to be, so the maximum storage will be 40 kilowatt per hour, because there is 5 kilowatt per hour per batteries. Now, one thing to note is that these batteries must be stacked together with the inverter. So you notice that the inverter here is always going to be at the top. So there is a rule that a maximum of 4 batteries can only be stacked when there is an inverter at the top. So if there's more than 4 batteries with the inverter, the 5th one must be separated onto the second stack. So each ALP batteries itself consists of 100 amperes of which form 51.2 volts. And they also have 16 serial connections, which means there is a total of 16 battery cells within each ARP batteries. So in a very simple scenario, let's say the customers doesn't have any solar systems yet. They want to install one. So this will be the most simple one. So at the top, you have the inverter, which gets the electricity directly from the solar panels. And then in the middle, you have the connection, which connects to the EPS load, the data logger, which gets the inverter online, as well as the smart meter, which is here. And this is the CT. And then in at the bottom, you have the ARP, which is used to store all the batteries. Sorry, used to store all the surplus received from the inverter. So let's say there is a case where the customers already have an existing inverter on the side. It doesn't have to be a Growatt inverter. It could be, let's say, other brands. So if the customers wanted to add the Growatt all-in-one system onto it, that's perfectly fine. So they can add it straight away onto the existing system, forming an AC couple. The only thing that needs to be added on top of the system is an extra smart meter. So this meter will act as the way that this inverter trying to read how much energy produced by the existing inverter, so that it sort of know how much how much it has been produced, because the inverter normally wouldn't communicate with the existing inverter unless it's coming from the same brand, which is our family Growatt. So these are the accessories required. It's the same as installing any system. So one key thing here is that these inverters, this system must be located in a place that can avoid direct sunlight as well as direct raindrops. This is actually to minimize wear and tear over time. So this will be the breakdown of the system. Once you unbox them, you have the base plate, which is the base to withstand the weight of this system. And then at the top, you have this hub system, which forms an L shape. Now this middle part will be the connection box. And then this is the ARP batteries, and this is the parallel cables, should there be more than one stack. So these are the trim covers. Now the covers here are designed to fully enclose the system. On the side, there will be a lot of wirings, cables, which kind of look like a mess. But with these covers, it sort of makes sure that everything is fully enclosed from the public eye, and the whole system will look like very smooth, like a box. So this is the bracket. Now this bracket itself must be installed to this inverter so that it kind of can support a bit between the inverter system as well as the batteries. Always install this bracket before installing other components. And then make sure that the system is always 90 degrees from the ground so that it's not tilted in any ways. And then make sure that the system has some clearance of at least 300 meters between each other. We do notice that sometimes there is a window in between, or like the houses have window in betweens. Even though you need to have a clearance of not too far away, but also make sure that these systems are still connected and are not far away. Let's say one in the front and one in the back. Make sure that they are still closely located, but at least 300 meters away. So this is how you connect them. Each of these system has die-cast brackets. So use the M4 screws to connect tightly. As mentioned here, they can use the M4 screws to also attach them to the wall so that it's stick to the wall and it's able to absorb any form of shocks. So now, in terms of the battery installations, so 4 batteries can be stacked together. So and 2 stacks of 8 batteries are the maximum to stack together. We do have some common errors received from some of our installers throughout the time. Now, one of the most common thing is that if you notice here, so when you are forming 2 stack, the lower bottom here, the positive and negative cable, will be connected directly to the bottom batteries. Same with the positive and the negative cables. Now, this is something to be careful that even though the positive cables are connected from the bottom battery to the bottom batteries, the communicative cables should not be going from the bottom to the bottom. Instead, it should go from the bottom one to the top one. So if there is an issue that you encounter while trying to form 2 stacks of batteries, first thing to do is make sure that the COM cables is connected correctly. So this is an example of a 2 stacks installation. Notice that how he created a roof at the top. This is a good example to protect the system from direct sunlight and direct rainfall. Now, the other common errors that we receive from our installers is using the wrong types of battery wiring. Now, even though these cables are produced by us, Growatt, however, each cables have different purposes. ALP cables can only use for ALP batteries, and APX cables can only use for APX batteries. So make sure that you don't get these mixed up because they're not going to work or may cause some issues long term. So one thing that you can check if the cables are correct, so just check the user manual or check if you can be tied in like smoothly. So why SPH-HUB system? First thing first, it's easier to install because this whole system is kind of like by default is the main key point is that it kind of like make everything switch up together like Legos. You build up the battery stack by stack and then you just connect them. Second thing is when it comes to ease of installation, it also saves a lot of time. Saving time means it saves money. It's also much more efficient compared to like a complicated system. And this is, like I said, an all-in-one package. It supports both DC and AC coupling, and it also comes with our standard 10 years of warranty. So the meter and CT requirements, now as mentioned by Rex earlier, the current format is that if the CD is within 10 centimeters from the inverter, there's no extension needed. Just install it as the simplest way as it is. However, if the CD itself is more than 10 meters from the inverter, you need to purchase an external meter and connect it to CT1, which is here. And for AC coupling application, the same applies. You need to purchase an external meter. However, connect it to your 485-2 port here instead of the meter CD1 here. So that is the only exceptions. Now, we also implemented a new program so that the installer can check whether the system has been installed successfully. Because you want to know whether things in a complicated system, whether the batteries are working, whether the cables are are connected properly, whether CT direction is pointing towards the right place, and whether there is AC connection established in the system. So the one-click diagnosis process is going to solve everything with a push of a button. So all you have to do is press escape button for more than 3 seconds to the diagnose fun page, which means diagnose function, and then press OK. So I'm going to demonstrate this later in the demo. And then once the test is completed, it's going to show that assemble pass, meaning that this has complete and everything is working perfectly. So one exception to this one-click diagnosis process is that if you're using an AC couple, some changes to the system have to be applied before you do this you perform the diagnosis test. So notice that you have to install an additional smart meter to the existing inverter. So you have to set the 0.5 mode to meter 2. So how to set it? Now press OK buttons for more than 3 seconds, and then press the down arrow, and then find the RS-485 settings and then just change the port to meter 2 and press OK. That's pretty much it. Yep. So the monitoring interface here, same as all our existing system, we're going to use the Shine format to check the system. This is where you can see the energy production level, the battery state of charge, whether it's charging, discharging, or whether there's any error occurred. So why choose Growatt? First of all, we're one of the most economical friendly partners in the industry. And then we also have excellent after-sales services as per our reviews from Google. We also have quite reliable quality in terms of our products. So this is one of our example of all-in-one installation. You can see that at the top is the inverter, and then the middle is the connection box, and two ALP batteries has been installed in the system, and then at the very bottom is the base plate. So the whole system with all the wires fully enclosed on the side, making it a similar system for visualizations. You won't see anything else. Now, in some scenarios, a customer might prefer a separate installation. That means that the batteries as well as the inverter system are not stacked together. That's perfectly fine. So this is how they look like. You can see that here. This is where all the wiring cables have been hidden. In terms for today's discussion, we also have a Zendesk Hub article for those who are curious or who wanted to learn more about our installation process. So just come to our Zendesk, or you can go to Google and type Growatt Zendesk for Hub system, and you can find this link, or you can click on this link here. And then basically you can find all information you need about our system. So now I'm just going to perform a live demo. Just bear with me for a second. So hi guys, so this is our system here. At the top you have the inverter, the SPH-HUB inverter, and the middle one here. So this is the connection box, and then at the bottom, so this is the ALP battery, and then at the bottom this is the base plate which is used to support the whole system. So on the side you can see that there are a pair of trim covers for each of the products. So these trim covers are designed specifically to enclose all the wiring, the cables, as well as the small accessories. So the first thing we do when it comes to troubleshooting is that we want to remove the trim covers to check the wire. So to remove them, make sure that you remove the screw first. Once the screw has been removed, so pull it out. So don't try to force push it. You have to pull it out slowly and then just take it out. Okay. So now we move to the other side. Same process. Remove all the screws. And then before you don't force pull it. So just pull it outwards slowly and then take it off. So in here you can see that the data logger and the circuit breaker as well as the connection between the batteries and the system, all of them has been fully enclosed on the right side. Now I'm just going to show you the smart meter that was mentioned by Rex, which is inbuilt in the system. So this is our smart meter. So this is pre-inbuilt in the system, which saves a lot of time when it comes to installation because you don't have to spend too much time on this part. Right, now I'm going to show you how to get the inverter online. So the first thing that you need to do is to grab a phone and then download our app. Now, you have to make sure that the data logger itself is set to Bluetooth mode. So notice that the blue color here is flashing. So click on the status reset button and then wait for a while. So you can see that the light changes from flashing blue to solid blue. Now go to your app, open up the app and then go to your plot and then click add data logger. So once you get to the page, just scan the QR code and then click yes, and then click Wi-Fi connection. So it's going to connect automatically. Now, bear in mind and make sure that your Bluetooth has been turned on. And then after that, find your Wi-Fi and then enter the password for your Wi-Fi and just click configure immediately. It may take 1 minute to up to 3 minutes. So during this time, just make sure that your Wi-Fi is set to 2.4 gigahertz. And then that's it. So the data logger is configured successfully. It's going to return to the main page, and then your data logger, that's it, is on. So right now, if you notice the light changes, it's going to be flashing blue for now. And after a while, once the connection between the inverter and the data logger has been established successfully, it's going to change from flashing blue to from solid blue to flashing blue. Yep. Okay. So we're going to come back to that. Next thing I'm going to show you is the one-click diagnostics function. So just click on any of this button, and then the lights will appear. So once you click on any of the button, now press escape for more than 3 seconds. Now it's going to bring you to the diagnostic function page. So it's going to tell you to please push OK. Now push OK. So it's going to run through the 5 tests. First thing is the communication, the cable tests. This is a quick test, so normally it will only take 2 to 3 minutes. And then it's going to check the smart meter, and it's going to check the battery charge and discharge function. So we do have an issue with the battery and discharge function here. So it's going to check and then detect whether the issue does exist. Notice that a red light appeared, meaning that there is an issue with the battery charge and discharge function. So now it's going to check for the CT direction. And it's going to check that the number of batteries. So it indicates that there's only 1 battery connected, which is correct. So it says push OK, let's push OK. And it says that assemble failed, which means that this test is failed because one of the function doesn't work properly. So let's check what function failed. So it says that battery discharge failed. So it tells us straight away that there is an issue with the battery charge and discharge. Saves a lot of time in terms of troubleshooting, so that you knew where the problem lies. And that's it. Just press escape, and then it's gonna bring you back. So now we're gonna come back to see the data logger. You can
Notice that it's flashing blue right now, meaning that the connection between the inverter and the data logger has been established, and it also means that this system is online now. So I'm going to head back to my slides.
Yep, so that's it for our live demo. Oh. So if you guys do have some questions or answer, just let us know. I think we still have some time for that.
Yeah, I'll answer most of the questions in the chat. But if you have more questions, and you are more than welcome to send me an email. Anyway, I will generate the CPD point one by one for all the attended installers and designers. And yeah, yes.
I noticed that you guys raised your hands up for questions. Would you guys mind typing it on the chat if that's possible? Yeah.
There's no chat. Normally, others has like chat.
In the meantime, for other participants, I will be greatly appreciate if you can just do our customer training satisfaction survey form. That will be greatly appreciated.
I shared my email address in the chat, and so yeah. If you got any questions regarding this CPD training, just give me an email. And anyway, I will generate all the CPD certification later this week. I will email you one by one. Yeah, don't worry. Can you send me the recording of this? Yes, the recording of this webinar is also be updated, will be shared during the CPD certificate email. Okay, don't worry. And anyway, for tomorrow, so everybody is excited for tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, because to be honest, this one is pretty. The election was won on May, and this one became live on 1st of July. So to be honest, it's a little bit at the beginning. I'm sure it's probably a little bit of chaotic or problematic. But don't worry, we will back you up, and yeah, we'll try our best back you up. What is the clearance requirement by law between the batteries and the window? That one I think is around 300 millimeter or 6. I'm not 100% sure. But our all-in-one's top clearance is 300 millimeter.
Hi, Josh, for your questions. Can we remove the old SPH inverter installed with the battery to add more ARP batteries?
I remove
So first of
old.
all, you can't mix the batteries together. If you want LV, it has to be fully LV. If you want ALP batteries, it has to be fully ALP batteries. And also depending on your SPH models, some of the older models might not be compatible. So it really depends on the model you have. But if you want the ALP batteries, you can't use it along with the LV batteries.
Where is IP65 battery? Batteries IP66. So you can install them outdoor, but you always get something on top of it. If the client already has a min TRXH with ARC, can we add APX? No, you cannot. Unfortunately, you cannot. Because these two batteries, no. APX cannot be mixed used with ARC XH. Sorry about this one, but yeah, this is it. If connected with three-phase smart meter, will the battery run all three-phase? This is something called a net metering, and by net metering, this the Australian grid is actually how to say, just like a certain point. The battery can run all three-phase, but yeah, yes, it can. Just make it simple. Yes, it can. Net metering. How does the battery charging process work? Does it charging during specific time of the day or does it automatic? This is a really good question. For this one, so our default mode for our battery is load first. That means as long as any load, our battery will be discharged. All the PV power will be used to support our family load, then charge the batteries. That's how it works. But if for some VPP we have another two modes like grid first, that means your battery will be discharged and your PV generation will be feedback to grid as the highest priority. And battery first is your battery will be highest priority to be charged with either PV or AC from the grid. Which retailers in New South Wales, Queensland, SA support VPP? I think because right now we already have the Energy Australia, which is also use the Averagence platform, and right now, so but we're going to have we're going to have the more very soon next month. Why does it need a 700 mil clearance from the top to the no. This one is something wrong. Because now we are sorry for this one. All in one is only 300 millimeter. Okay, not 900. Because now we already revised our manual. So right now it's just 300 millimeter. So do not need to be. Growatt ARP gets about EV charger. Can customer do EV charger directly from battery? No. That's a good point, but no. You must have the inverter. Right. To do that. Yeah, DC to DC, that's really good about it now. So, or does this change from brand to brand? So, and what's the distance more than, do we need no. For distance more than 10 meters, use external smart meter. Okay. So if you're not sure, I mean, hypothetically, if you're not sure about the distance within 10 meters or not, and always give them one external one. Can we remove the old SPH? So all these ones already be answered. Which is the Taylor? Is the battery system can work with other inverters like Sanger, furnace, so unfortunately, no. Our inverters can only work with our batteries can only work with our inverters. When you say direct sunlight, how can it get avoided? Well, that's a good one. Now, when I was size, now it's like a angle. No, it's how can it be avoided? It's so that's good. As long as it covers something on top of the inverter or the battery, that's fine. Or if the house has a little bit shaded, that's fine. Okay. All right, that's probably everything for today. We try our best, and yeah, you already got my email address. If you got any question, feel free to send me an email, and also we will share the CPD later this week. Thank you, gentlemen and lady. We appreciate it for your time. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.